Okay guys, welcome back to another tutorial, and today's episode we're going to be focusing on how to save some data. In this case we're going to be saving some text into our player preferences. So let's get into it and start doing that. So if we jump into Unity, all I have here is I have set up a simple 2D project where we have we have nothing in the game except for a canvas, and on that canvas we have a text input here. We also have a button that we can press to save the text that we're going to enter, and then we also have a text field just under that to display what we have saved. So what we're going to do is we are going to first of all let's have a look and see. So here on our canvas I've added in a panel, let's go ahead and move all of our stuff onto the panel just so everything is there. So if we disable that, we can see there's nothing on the screen. Okay, good. So what I've done is obviously I've added in the input, the button, and the text display, and then I have also created a script here. So let's open that, and in here it's got nothing. All I did was I deleted the start method because we're not going to use that. So what we can do is we can go in here and create a data manager. So by simply creating an empty game object and calling this data manager, and then on this data manager we are going to attach the save data script. So now we have access to that script. We can go into that script and start editing it. So let's open that, and in here we want to import using TextMesh Pro, because in the new update of Unity you can only use the TextMesh Pro input field and the TextMesh Pro text field. So that's what we're using today. So we need to import the input field and the text from that. So let's go and say public TextMesh Pro tmp underscore text, and we'll call this text. And then we also need a public tmp underscore input field, and we'll call that text input, like that. And then we will also need a method here called public void. We don't want to return anything, so we'll say public void, and we'll call this save data. And in here all we want to do is whenever we click on our button, we want to save the data that we have entered into our textput or into our input field in a certain place. So here let's say player prefs dot set string, because what we enter is going to be a string, we are going to save it as a string. So let's go player prefs dot set string, and then we want to save it with the reference, or the key in this case, my string. And then we obviously want to save the text that we get from it. So let's go the input text, rather, the input, no, what do we name it, the text input. So yeah, let's go text input dot text. So that is going to get the whatever we type in this input field and convert it into text, and it's going to save it at the location of my string using that key. And then okay, so we can't save this because it's the same as that, so let's go here and say save, instead of saying save data, let's say save input. Close that off with brackets, so that's fine now. And then in the update field we want to update this text box here to display the text that we just saved. So let's go and do that. So in here we want to first of all create a new string, and we'll call this loaded string. So that's going to represent the string that we get from the player preferences using the key, which in this case is my string. So here let's say player prefs dot get string using the my string key. So that's gonna go and look for the key that had, in the string, how do you say it, in the string values in the player preferences is gonna go with the key of my string and take the value that's recorded under it. So now we can go and say we can update the text box, which is this, and that we call text. So here we can say text dot text is equal to loaded string, just like that. So that's all the code that we need to write, I think. So let's go back into Unity. Did we save that? So we did. So now all we need to do is we need to assign the function or the method that we just created to our button. So now we'll click on our button, and in the inspector we'll go down to the button component, and then you can see there's an on-click event here. So in here, let's drag in our data manager. Now that is going to give us access to our save data script, and on there we can scroll down to our save input, and that is obviously the method that we just created. So we'll select that. So whenever we press on the button, it's going to call that save input method, and it is going to save the data from our input field into the player preferences using the keyword myString. So let us play this and see what happens. So if we play our game, well, not really a game, but our input data system, data saving system, shall I say, we can, first of all, we need to drag in these input. So if we click on data manager, we need to drag in our text field and then also our input field so we can use them. And you see we got this null reference exception because we didn't drag these in. So let's go and play the game now and see. Hopefully it works. It's quite simple, only if it works, but there we go, we have no errors. So now we can, in here we can type test save 1. We can go and save that. So now you can see we have saved the text test save 1. And what's cool about this is if we go out of the game, obviously everything in the scene gets reset, but if we play the game again, we should see the text that we saved from the previous try over here. So if we play this, when this eventually plays, you should see test save 1, which you do. So we can go and update this and say test save 2 or 2. You can save that, go out of the game mode, and go back in the game mode, and we should see the same thing. And now it should say test save, well, what did we say? Test save 2, I think it was. When eventually loads, there we go. So that is how you save things using player preferences. You can use, you can also do things like integers and booleans. It's pretty much the same thing. Instead of saying save string, you just say save int or save boolean. Yeah, that's a simple way of saving data. You can also save data using files. We'll probably do that in a different video. That's a bit more complicated, but we'll do that in a different video, in a different tutorial. But thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Hopefully that was helpful to you, and I hope to help you in the future. So if you found this helpful, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.